This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Utah with another award-winning author who has basically been a lifelong fan of science fiction and developed a deep appreciation for storytelling and the wonders of imagination. I am joined here with R.W. Dove. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Gary.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You were born in Alexandria, Virginia. You grew up in the picturesque Appalachian Mountains. You are now an accomplished author who lives in Utah with your inspiring companion as well as wife. Share with us kind of this past landscape that fueled your passion to be a writer.
Well, I've always enjoyed writing, but growing up, we grew up on a farm, so, writing was not the high point. It's like, you've got cows to milk and fields, gardens, and all that. So the writing kind of slipped to the side. And about 15 years ago, I moved to Utah. And about 3 years ago, me and my wife were sitting back trying to find something on TV. There was nothing on it. And I just jokingly said to my wife, I said, I could write better stuff than what we're watching right now. And she just kind of laughed and she said, well, why don't you? And I said, well, maybe I will. And we just kind of laughed it off, but I was serious about it. So I started researching about, how long does a novel have to be and things like that. And I started writing. And I write on my phone. And I can't write on my computer because my mind goes blank. So she's sitting there one night and she's like, what are you doing on your phone? It's like, I'm writing. And she just laughed it off. And a couple nights later, it goes on. And she's like, what are you doing on your phone so much? And I turn my phone, dear, I'm writing. And she took and she actually started reading. And she's like, this is really good. And it's like, you weren't joking. It's like, no. And that's kind of what got me into writing.
That is a crazy story. I mean, how many confident husbands have looked at their wife and maybe said the same thing and then blew it off? You actually did something about it. I think that's fantastic. I mean, what is it about science fiction that attracts so much of the public? I mean, not only in our reading, but in movies, games, even amusement parks.
I think sci-fi is a good way you don't escape life, but you can make sense of life with sci-fi. I love like the Star Trek, how, you can bring everybody together. Everybody can get along. And sometimes I think sci-fi has a way of telling you the truth without you really even understanding what you're getting. You're getting the truth, but you don't accept it as the truth.
That is very good. Very, very true statement. I mean, your fascination with Greek mythology, I mean, it's kind of blossomed into a lifelong quest for knowledge and understanding. Do you hope that readers will maybe learn more about the world around them, the worlds you've created, and all those things in your writing?
Oh, yes. I had a high school civics teacher who got me hooked on Greek mythology. And from there on, it's just, I started looking into Egyptian mythology, Roman mythology. And there's just so many ways that people tried to make sense of their world. And to me, that's the real allure of mythologies right there.
Interesting. Would you say your experiences have further deepened your interest kind of in the unknown? And your Gods and Guardians series truly embodies your mission, maybe to inspire others to kind of do the same.
Oh, yes. When I was younger, I loved ghost hunting. And I kind of infused part of that, the paranormal, into Gods and Guardians, because that's another thing that I really enjoy doing.
That is excellent.
Of course, as you get older, it gets harder to do.
I mean, you've had some extraordinary experiences, so obviously that goes into your writing. The Gods and Guardians journey, I mean, is a breathtaking sci-fi fantasy adventure that takes place exactly where? Where does this take place?
This is on a world a long time ago. It's a human history, but it's not on this planet. It's basically a pre-Earth, if you want to think of it that way.
What is the name of the place where it's taking place there?
This is in a world called Trebek.
Oh, excellent, excellent. The reader, I mean, they will embark with Arthur and his friends on an adventure after Arthur's mother is attacked at the hands of a corrupt government official. Is it both uplifting and captivating, would you say, for the reader?
Oh yes, I've had a lot of people who have told me that once they start reading, they can't put the book down. And that's really what I'm trying to get people to read, to love to read, because I think reading just expands the mind the way that TV or other media outlets, they just can't do. Reading just really intrigues you, the mind it develops. So for young readers, yes, I really want them to be able to enjoy the book and to get into a fantasy that the book is planned for 4 or 5 books. So we're about halfway through right now.
Very cool. I mean, the story reminds me of the iconic line, "Luke, I am your father." Whereas Arthur reveals his true heritage as well. Touch on that plot a little bit for us.
Well, now Arthur is grown up. He lost his father when he was around 8 years old. His father was taken prisoner by the government and dies in prison. And Arthur's basically left with him and his sister and his mother on the farm. So at 8 years old, here's a young boy who's going into manhood very quickly. And he doesn't know his heritage yet. It's not until his mother's attacked and you get, there's an old beggar in town, and Arthur in the book sees him quite often. And on this particular day when he's in town, the soldiers are basically mocking him and trying to give the old man a hard time, and Arthur comes to his aid. But Arthur has no idea who he is. And it's not until he comes home and sees that his mother's been attacked, and the fear of setting in, that Arthur is already lashed out and not even realizing his own strength, that he's already killed several government soldiers. But Evan, who is the old beggar, comes in, and Evan has to convince the mother that Arthur will never fulfill his destiny if he doesn't know who he is. And that is when Emma, the mother, makes the confession that James, who was her husband, was not his father. And
wow. I mean, I love the plot already. When I read a little bit about that summary, I was like, I'm already entranced by it. Arthur and friends navigate a strange new world filled with magic as they overcome fears and face monsters as well as obstacles. Adventure, magic, and exploration. I mean, is this really your writing passion?
yes. I've had so much fun writing this book, and even the second book just will keep it. I don't know. There's just something when you start writing, you don't want to stop. Of course, you have to bring every book to an ending. But yes, it has been just an absolute thrill to be able to write this.
I mean, just what you've done is inspiring many folks out there, I bet, to maybe think about writing themselves. I mean, this is not only loved by all, but also there's some wonderful reviews in the Wall Street Times and Entertainment. As a recipient of the International Impact Award, as well as the prestigious Marl Nobel Award, are you kind of humbled to realize this is all from the imagination and hard work of a boy on a farm in Virginia? I mean, what a journey it's been, right?
It has been. My wife laughs at me all the time. She looks at me and she's like, I never would have guessed there was a book in there, let alone 2.
No,
she's been my biggest supporter, so.
She's going to be careful next time she watches any TV with you that's on the boring side. You're going to jump in and go for it. Before we let you go, share with us where the public can find your books.
My book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's also at Walmart. So you can get it at a lot of places online. But Amazon usually carries the best deals. I have to give them a plug for that one.
Yes, definitely so. I mean, R.W, you hope that everyone who follows Arthur on his journey can likewise find inspiration to follow and fulfill their own destiny. Is writing now rewarding work for you?
Oh, it is. Me and my wife have talked about, later on in life retiring, and she said, then you can quit writing. And I said, no, hon, I'm probably never going to quit writing.
That is excellent. I hope to see more work from you. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is the website. On the website, you can learn more and purchase his books right there online. You can also find them on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble, as he has said. Follow him on Facebook or LinkedIn to see basically what may be brewing next and that he's maybe writing on his phone next to his wife. Once again, that is R.W. Dove, captivating readers with rich narratives and vivid worlds. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.